I'm Professor Kate Jones, and I'm the lead for the Sentinel forecasting project. So our team is solving the problem of how we can predict and manage the risk of animal diseases jumping into humans. And as we've seen from the COVID-19 pandemic, these diseases have severe global economic and health consequences. The pandemic also really focused global attention on how human disturbance of natural ecosystems drives these disease outbreaks. But this fact has been neglected in most public health responses to date, and this siloed thinking severely limits the ability of our public health systems to predict and prevent future outbreaks. So we need a much more integrated One Health approach to understanding disease risk that links the knowledge of the ecology of the animal host or the vectors to how many people are exposed through our use of the environment with the vulnerability of these human populations. Of course, all of this sits within this dynamic framework of global change where climate change and land use change act on all parts of this system. So until we really integrate and bring together all these different silos, we will not be successful in predicting spillovers. So West Africa is a really critical nexus of these issues. And following one of the biggest outbreaks of Lassa fever in 2018, I began working with colleagues in the Nigeria Centre for Disease Control, the NCDC, to use this interdisciplinary One Health approach to understand outbreak risk. However, our initial models were pretty limited to the most data-rich areas of Nigeria, and it was really unclear how best to incorporate these models to inform decisions by the public health managers. Funding from the Trinity Challenge really helped to transform our approach, both in the scale and ambition. And our team that we've put together for this project crosses these disciplinary silo boundaries and unites data not just from ecology and from climate change and environment, but also with cutting-edge genomics and epidemiology. And we've been co-developing with the stakeholders involved a real-time forecasting system for public health agencies in West Africa, starting with Lassa fever. So we're also utilising data from existing and new surveillance systems in Nigeria through Christian Happy's Sentinel project, which we're operationalising into an interactive predictive user interface in collaboration with Microsoft. So far with the Trinity Challenge funding, we've been working with the NCDC to set up their systems to pull epidemiological data and Earth observation data together to improve our modelling accuracy for Lassa fever, both in space and in time. And because of the strong link to climate that Lassa fever has through its rodent host population biology, the model can forecast risk 1 to 3 months ahead. We've also been talking to the stakeholders extensively, and we held our first multi-stakeholder colloquium and a series of workshops in Nigeria a few weeks ago. And through that, our team has a much better handle on the most pressing research and policy gaps there are for Lassa fever, but also we did a situation analysis to see the strengths and the weaknesses of the NCDC data and their responses to understand how the forecasting platform tool could be of most use. So we're now putting the first draft of that platform together with our colleagues from NCDC, but also London School of Hygiene, Tropical Medicine, and Microsoft for the first user testing. So there's some really exciting prospects for this work, which could be realised with further funding. So, for example, support for more targeted epidemiological surveillance to ground truth the models in areas where they're not currently performing as well as we'd like, but also expanding this type of modelling for Lassa fever across the region and or for different diseases like Ebola or Mpox. And lastly, we heard some really powerful testimony at the conference from Lassa fever survivors, and particularly from a young boy who had survived Lassa fever but unfortunately lost his father to the disease, because mostly I think because of diagnostic confusion with malaria, and by the time they figured it out it was too late. So it'd be really fabulous to see if we could start to develop some AI symptom diagnostic tools which were informed by our models that could be deployed at the front line to really help with that diagnostic confusion. So thanks very much, and happy to answer any questions.